All right, so when we left off, we were on deck 17, section 47, inside a crawl space that has been turned into a habitat suitable for, well, there's no easy way to say this, suitable for Borg. And in this area, we found Dahli. Uh, Steph, if you could describe how we found them.
Sure. We found them um red-handed as it were, tubules deep in an alcove, simulating the ship and attempting to wrest control from the Borg in their mind. And they got control, just, not the control that they were expecting to get.
Oops, it's a thing.
Oops.
It's a big oops.
And Bianca
I
could,
locked out
could
the
hear-
computer already, didn't I?
I think one of y'all did.
Someone did. I think it was me.
You were working on it, and then there was a bug bomb that went off. And
I don't think anything necessarily stopped me. I just don't remember how good I did at it. I think I did it, and if we want me to re-roll or what, I can.
No, no need.
Yeah, I was like, if the numbers matter, we can re-roll. But I did it.
And Shanna and Jonas were watching as Bianca heard the voices.
Yep. Specifically, the voice that she recognized as, for lack of a better way of saying this, kind of a Borg queen in an early stage of development.
Infancy, yeah.
So that is where we left off, and we are going to pick up immediately there. Before we continue, however, I do want to let you all know of a mechanic that will be going on through the game as we change scenes. 19 will attempt to continue to assimilate the Dauntless.
Yay.
You knew it was going to happen. And
the nanoprobes will adapt.
So
basically,
just
yes.
real quick, so I assume you're making rolls, but that simulates. Does it simulate 19 physically hooked up, or is it like 19's aggressive virus, or what does the roll simulate?
It is a combination of several factors. One is the fact that 19 is plugged in, at least at the moment. Another is the fact that the nanites are doing what they've been programmed to do. They're doing what basically comes naturally for Borg technology.
So we would be, as probably briefed, at least I'm sure there's a class on this in Starfleet Academy. We are aware that this is happening and can do things to counteract it, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, so the roles will happen, and that's kind of like our
and it'll be
narrative
opposed.
time bomb kind of thing. Okay, cool. All right, I just wanted to make sure, because sometimes things we know meta, but our characters may not. So we're aware, and that's our ticking clock.
Characters are aware that this nanovirus is going to attempt to assimilate the ship, and some of the steps that you can take to fight it.
Cool.
So that's where.
But other than that, I haven't made any outwardly aggressive motions. Like, I haven't attempted to hurt anybody. I haven't attempted to assimilate anyone.
I'm going to quote Captain Picard when he first met the Borg and then shot them. I cannot allow you to interfere with the operation of this vessel. And that's what you've done.
You're not there, bitch.
I've locked it out, so I know you're doing something. You put something where it wasn't belong.
But yeah, so I assume that Jonas will say got overwhelmed and needed to leave because of the voices.
Yeah, we'll go with that since Journey hasn't been able to make it, at least not yet. Hopefully he'll be able to join us later. Knock on wood.
So, and her small arms team, yeah? And Bianca's on her way down, I think, is where we left it.
I think so. Yeah. So Shienna's there, and her response was not to shoot first.
Oh, fun. I have the con.
Shienna has grown as a person, y'all. She didn't shoot first.
I'm so proud of her.
I can't remember the full. I feel like Shienna and 19 had a conversation. Crap.
Yeah. You asked, you tried to speak to me, and then you asked what my designation was, and I said designation currently unknown. And then you said, what are you attempting? And I said, reassemble. What was it? Reassemble or reorganize with that, like, fix the problem was basically my answer.
My Unimatrix baby is broken. I must fix it.
Yeah, basically. And I'm also split down the middle, like half and half at the moment.
Which is not freaky at all.
Oh, nope.
No. Yeah. Totally unfazed by this. Really chill.
Shienna's had combat training. She knows what to do with Borg. Problem is, what do you do when the Borg is your friend?
That's exactly the problem.
Picard, Borg are food, not friends.
Food, not friends.
Yeah, no, Bianca's on her way down there just to kind of she's got to see this.
Okay. And
I think Shienna would like to continue to talk to 19, like maybe try to talk 19 out of what they're doing.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, so now I have to come up with words.
Now you have to actually use your words. Yes.
Now you have to use this words.
It's called a role-playing game.
Yeah, I know. Okay, thanks, guys.
Now it's Kate's turn to say thanks. I hate it.
19, do you remember who I am?
You are Commander Shianadero.
And do you remember that we're friends?
Correct. I do not see how this ceases our friendship.
It could, potentially, because what you're doing would hurt the Dauntless. And do you remember how I feel about the Dauntless?
I am not attempting to harm the Dauntless or its crew. I am merely enhancing its capabilities so that I can communicate with the Borg.
Is there any other way that you could communicate with them? Do you have to use the ship?
Currently, this is the only possible way, as I am no longer linked to the Hive.
And why do you have to communicate with them?
They are in distress.
What kind of distress?
How do I word this?
Well, let's go over what 19 knows, and by extension, what Dahli knows.
Yeah, okay, that works.
So, yes, to answer your question.
Okay. Okay, so does it 19 is 19 aware of their current temporal status?
In terms of where and when they are, yes.
Okay. Is
But
19
they shouldn't, which is kind of paradoxical because they're aware that they were reintegrated. So their
Right.
existence is not entirely logical.
Right. Okay. Is 19 aware of the current status of the Unimatrix and why it's here?
Yes, 19 would be aware of
Okay.
that.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. So I will kind of tilt my head and look at Shiana. The Unimatrix, several, what is it, 1,000 light years out, right?
Yep.
The Unimatrix that is currently located 1,000 light years away from us is, in some ways, akin to a refugee camp.
Refugees from what?
The relative collapse.
Are these Borg who are in distress from the universe that 19 you originated from?
Correct.
And how do you intend to help them?
First, I must establish communication. Then we can begin a dialogue.
Do you have any idea of what their intentions are?
For the moment, they seem peaceful and are attempting simple relocation measures.
Bianca, you can enter the scene whenever you like.
Now's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, you hear the end of that sentence, basically.
Bianca, so
So seeing the scene before you, here's Dahli and 19 kind of looking a bit like Two-Face from the Batman comics. Like not disfigured, just like Steph said, split down the middle.
like
with-
pasty and veiny on one side and not on the other.
Yep.
Mhm.
And all like tubules and everything.
And Bianca also takes note that Shiana is talking to 19 and not pointing her TR-116 at her.
Oh, I'm sure the gun is leveled at me, but Shiana hasn't fired yet.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, she's got it like at a ready position where she could very easily take a shot if she felt she needed to.
I mean, has she taken aim, or is she just kind of holding it like kind of at a 45-degree angle, you know? Like,
Like at ready arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more like that.
And what is Bianca getting, like, telepathically?
Steph, tell me if I'm wrong on this, but kind of a merger of Dauntless and 19 at this point.
Yeah,
19 speaking,
definitely.
19, like Dauntless' thoughts formed via Borg protocols.
Yeah, like you're getting it kind of like almost like one is speaking and the other is like almost like they're talking to each other in a way, but like uh one is more dominant in the conversation in a sense.
The Borg side is more dominant at this point, I would say.
Currently, yeah. But it's not like rar Borg. It's more like what 19. It's more what 19 was. It's more just like flat.
It's not threatening. It's not like. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dudley, can you hear me?
Yes, Captain.
So. I want, and Bianca goes, what have you told Commander Darrow so far?
I have told the commander that the current status of the Unimatrix 1,000 light years away is one of distress. The drones aboard and integrated within the Unimatrix are seeking refuge from the relativistic collapse of the universe.
Of the pocket universe.
Correct.
Well, this changes some things. Borg or not. Refugees are refugees. But Dali, I have put in place protocols to protect this ship. Currently, do you know the status, our alert status?
Yes, Captain. It's rather obvious.
I would think. It's because you're trying to assimilate the Dauntless.
I apologize. I was merely attempting to integrate with the alcove. The assimilation is a byproduct.
Understood. But for now, I have to treat it as a threat. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Also, refugee status or not, when it comes to the Borg, I cannot allow you to contact them at this time. Because I cannot risk the assimilation of this ship and its crew. Not until we have a better plan. And a better idea of what's going on.
I am afraid that the likelihood of their knowledge of both the location and crew complement of this vessel is very high.
I don't doubt that. However, we have avoided piquing their interest in coming after us thus far. You becoming like a beacon is going to make the likelihood that they'll continue to leave us alone very low.
The last time we commenced dialogue with the Borg, what was the name?
What was the what?
The name of the drone from before?
Tyrannus.
Yes. the last time we had a dialogue with Tyrannus of Borg, it went rather peacefully. The Borg may again send a representative.
I understand that. But you have to understand, given our history with the Borg and the threat that they present, I can't take any chances.
Should I have myself confined to the brig, Captain?
I don't think that'll be necessary. However, I am going to want a full medical workup on you, and I am going to send an engineering team down to see if we can figure out how to slow the spread of the infection of the nanites. Because I cannot allow this ship to be assimilated. Do you understand this?
Yes, Captain. I can attempt to, in some ways, communicate with the nanites to slow their progress. However, it is an unlikely method.
Understood. Currently, Commander Yolin's antivirus is in place and holding them steady, but I doubt that that's going to hold. They'll adapt after probably too short a time.
Correct. However, you will now be able to detect cloaked Borg vessels, thanks to my integration.
And Bianca just kind of looks at Shiana and raises her eyebrows. She goes, "Small favors. Not so small favors." Once we can eliminate the infection of the nanites in Dauntless' systems, we can figure out a way for you to integrate safely. But for right now, I'm going to try and coordinate with our medical and engineering teams to try and disconnect you.
As your chief medical officer, Captain, I regret to inform you the spread of the nanites throughout my system are rapid, and they are repairing the apparent damage they see.
I can see that. That's why I'm going to call Admiral Jar. To see what she can do.
Very well.
And Bianca just kind of like just rubs the side of her face, and she kind of beckons for Shiana to kind of join her, like, as much to the side as possible in this tiny area.
Shiana follows. What should we do, Captain?
Follow the strictest security containment protocols on this deck. I'm also going to be sending an engineering team and a medical team once they arrive to see if we can untangle Tali from the alcove and try and mitigate some of the damage.
Do you think anybody can repair this split body, split personality situation?
I don't know. I've never read anything like this. Plus, the Borg from Tali's universe, from this pocket universe, they're not like our Borg. Which gives us an advantage, but that doesn't mean that they're any less dangerous. We'll maintain red alert for now until I can eliminate the nanites from the computer systems.
Understood. I'll stay here and keep an eye on Dolly.
Bianca just nods silently. And she taps her comm badge. Captain West to Commander Dash.
Dash here. What can I do for you, Captain?
I'm going to need an engineering and science team to Deck 17. We've got a Borg situation, and they're trying to, and the nanites are trying to assimilate the ship.
Well, that explains a few things. My engineering teams have already been fighting to keep control of some of our systems. Now that you know where the epicenter is, I can maybe get a better handle on it.
That's what I hope. Our first priority is to slow and then stop the spread of the infection of the nanites in the Dauntless' systems. And the second priority is going to be getting Dolly unintegrated from their changes and recovered.
Well, Captain, I'm an engineer, not a doctor, but we can at least see about getting them unstuck.
You worry about priority 1 for now. I'll worry about priority 2.
Sounds good to me, Captain.
All right. It's a little crowded down here, so just bear that in mind.
Yeah, we'll open up this section if we need to. I'll bring along some of the heavy equipment. Dash out.
When Bianca closes her, I will just look to her, like tilt my head one way, then the other, and then just move my arm and extract the tubule.
Extract as in pull them out of something, or?
Yeah, like just like pull them back into my
Gotcha.
body. Basically. I am capable of removing myself from the ship, Captain.
Well, then, if you wouldn't mind, I think you should get to sickbay.
As Dolly removes the assimilation tubules, Dolly, I don't know if you would have necessarily been aware of it, but there were other tubules that were plugged into Dolly that are kind of unplugging themselves as you are talking.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's fine.
So, no, wasn't aware of that. Got it.
Nope.
Dolly's probably got a really weird gait because she's probably like trying to be normal on one side and being like Borg stiff on the other.
Also, like one like it's like when the one shoe is higher than the other shoe.
Oh God, right? Yeah. Why do I even know that's a thing? That's fucky. Okay, where would you all like to go next?
I guess Shanna's escorting me to sickbay.
Okay. We can do that.
All right. Which means I put 2 of my security guys ahead, and I'm taking the rear.
Yep.
Also, I was right. Journey was taking a nap.
Okay. Well, yeah. Tell him whenever he can.
Yeah,
just hop on in.
I did. He said he's grabbing a drink and he's booting up, so he will be here soon.
Cool. Yay, Journey.
Bianca's going back up to the bridge. Meanwhile, she's composing a message. I'm not role playing, talking to myself.
You know what I was going to suggest if you were
What?
up for this? Like, have a conversation between Admiral Tashake and Admiral Jar. If that's something that you want to do.
Yeah, I can delegate that to Shake.
Yeah, and then it's an admiral to admiral conversation too.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
So but let's do the sickbay situation first, though. So with the security team,
takes one look and just goes, "I'm not fucking paid for any of this."
It's 25th century. You're not paid anyway.
That's the joke.
At which point, Shanna gives him the look of death that says, "You are going to deal with this."
Yeah, no,
Because I said so.
Dr. Pierce is not the type who would say no to something like this anyway. Like he
isn't.
sees Dauntless coming in, and there's just this look of shock on his face, and it's like, my God, what has happened to you?
I believe the expression is long story.
You would be correct. Hop up on a bio bed. Here, let me take a look at you.
Hop up on a bio bed. I assume Jonas is also in sick bay because that's where he would have gone. So
Yes, Jonas would have gone to sick bay.
Journey, how you
Also,
doing,
I
man?
am so sorry. I way overslept.
Oh, it's totally okay.
take your time, get yourself a tea.
Did I miss much?
Nope.
No, you missed kind of the opening scene. We kind of got Dauntless unstuck from the crawl space where they had been. The assimilation of the ship is kind of on hold for the time being, but that may not stay that way, of course.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, Jonas is in sickbay already. We had said to kind of cover your absence earlier that Jonas excused himself because of the Borg voices were just kind of overwhelming. So
makes perfect sense.
Yep. So we are going to say that he was already in sickbay when Dauntless arrived. So you are seeing this for the first time, the same as Dr. Pierce.
Two-faced Dauntless. One side is Borg, the other side is Robin. It's a look. It's a new look.
Ooh, my wine came while I was sleeping.
Oh, yay.
But yeah, that's what you see. And I'm gonna get on a bio bed and let Pierce do his thing.
And would someone like to roll computer's medicine for me for the Dauntless?
I can.
Oh, this is Picard Premier Party wine.
Ooh, yay.
I want to be at that party.
Aw.
I wish I could bring you.
Did you say computer science for the ship?
Computer's medicine.
My bad.
No worries.
Medicine.
First roll of the evening belongs to Dr. Pierce, who succeeds in getting Dauntless' medical report, basically doing a medical scan on our chief medical officer, and he's able to confirm, Dauntless, that the Borg nanites are in your system. Not entirely clear how.
Yeah, that's a good time. How did those get back in there? We yeeted those.
Possibly by way of the regeneration alcove.
That makes sense.
They are present, and they're not keeping the same segregation like one half. They are operating like they are doing their thing on one half, but they're in your entire system.
Are they just like dormant on the other half?
Yeah, they're just doing regular. They're just doing like regular immune system, circulatory system functions on the unaffected side. Which side is unaffected, Dolly? Let's establish that. Left or right?
Which side was her prosthetic?
It was her left.
So that's the side that is Borgified.
Okay, that makes sense. So, so yeah, on her right side, they're just like maintaining, basically. On the left, they are adapting, adding things.
I mean, they're probably like doing internal stuff, like especially brain wise and like organ wise, like, or at least reinforcing the organs and stuff. But it's not like they're not erupting out of the skin.
Right.
They're making little tiny shields for my child.
How loud would it say? Would you say it would be in the med bay with Lee and in there now?
I would say that the initial impression was kind of overwhelming. It's a little bit easier to deal with now, to the point where like it's not causing active distress. But
Okay.
you are acutely aware of it.
How are you feeling?
Apologetic.
Do you have something to apologize for?
Assimilating the ship.
I do believe that was beyond your control.
Perhaps. It still required my actions.
Doctor, how is she medically?
Her scans are very similar to 19's when she was brought aboard, except, well, as you can see, they are only operating externally on the left-hand side of her body.
Yeah, that's a new thing. Why is that? Why are they only on the left side?
If I didn't know better, I would say it's because Dauntless or 19 has directed them to only operate on one side.
I am rather uncertain as to why it might be a subconscious reaction.
Well, it seems for now we have a lot of mysteries that need to be figured out.
More than a few.
Is there anything I can do here to help, or? Because Jonas doesn't know the standing orders on the ship. He has no idea where he needs to be.
I believe the con is currently unmanned, though Commander Rai may have taken it after securing some aspects of the ship. However, I would request that you put on your cortical inhibitor.
He will sheepishly reach into his pocket and pull it out and put it in place. Would you like me to stay for a bit before I go?
Only if you would like to.
I would like to.
Then I will not object to the company.
All right, what can I do to help, Doctor?
Talk to her. Keep her human. It sounds strange, but the emotional support is possibly the most important role you can play right now.
Well, I can listen or talk. I'm good at both, apparently.
I'm just gonna start lecturing you about plants.
Hmm. And like a listener, Jonas is gonna listen.
Aww.
All right. So we are going to do a couple of things here real quick. We're going to swap over to the conference room for our next scene. And if someone would like to roll daring engineering, this will be contested.
Daring engineering for who or what?
Oh, yeah, I'll have to check. Huh?
To try and keep the Borg assimilation in check.
Let me get to
Oh, okay.
I
let
vote
me grab.
Dash or to sell.
I vote Dash.
I mean,
Okay.
we can, yeah. If we can, let's see here. My daring and engineering. I only got a 13 to that, so
It's actually not too shabby.
I do.
But let's-
And it's up to you whether or not my infiltration focus would apply. I mean, it's computer infiltration, but you know.
Yeah, it wouldn't here just because
That's
you're
fine.
fighting it, but Dash does have a 14 total. You can assist with that if you'd like,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, no, yeah, I'll totally do that. I'll assist.
Okay.
Yeah, daring engineering. Dash roll 1. Focus used no. Complication range.
All right, Dash rolled 3 successes.
Let me check something
Yeah.
quick. I have a more detailed version of my sheet. I am.
And Steph, would you prefer to roll 19's control engineering, or would you like me to?
What's this?
You can do it.
Okay.
Is the ship assisting?
It is not.
It is not? Okay, that's fine. I just have technical expertise. If the ship was helping with computers, I was like, yay.
Yeah.
That's fine. All right. Big money, big money.
Okay, so 4 successes.
There you go. Cool.
And okay, so for the time being at least, you all managed to maintain the current state of assimilation, which is to say it's contained to Section 47 of Deck 17.
Gotcha. And this role simulates us using the computer and various other stuff. This is our like
engineering tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, little montage of us doing stuff. Cool.
All right. So in the conference room, we have Tashake opening a channel to Admiral Jar.
This is Admiral Jar.
Admiral, Tashake aboard the Dauntless. We have
Admiral Shake.
we have a situation that could use the assistance of a medical expert.
Oh?
One of the Dauntless's crew members has a Borg nanoprobe infestation. Their nanoprobes have begun to assimilate the ship. It is currently quarantined, but as you know, with all things Borg, that will no doubt change.
Like, Kalani's eyes darken. Just, like, if Tashake weren't Vulcan, she probably wouldn't pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she just goes, I see. Well, unfortunately, not very many people on my staff are qualified to deal with Borg. However, I have had some experience.
Would your experience be available to assist, either through your research notes or through your personal presence?
I could provide either.
Well, as one admiral to another, I leave the decision in your capable hands.
Do you have anybody who is specialized in cybernetics aboard the Dauntless?
The Dauntless's chief medical officer is the one who is manifesting the infestation. They would have also been the closest that Dauntless has to a cybernetics expert.
Well, in that case, I believe that my personal presence is required.
Hasn't Kalani met Dauntless?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So you would be like, this.
So, in that case, I shall see you soon. It is likely the sooner the better. Given the current status of the Dauntless, we may be needed elsewhere in short notice.
Of course.
On short notice.
Of course. I've already ordered the Valkyrie to rendezvous with you.
Very well. To shake out. All right. So, let's drop back into sickbay here. Where Dalhi has continued talking into plants, and that's kind of segued. And I'll let you all decide kind of how that's gone. Or where that's gone, I should say.
I suppose she kind of like ran out of material and is just kind of sitting there, like either waiting for Jonas to ask questions or, just chilling. We be chilling.
And see, Jonas is one of those people who doesn't mind sitting in silence.
So we're doing that thing where we just are close but not talking.
Yep. Which is a thing couples do sometimes, and it's adorable.
But yeah, other than that, unless anything actively happens, I'm just gonna wait to be told what the fuck to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Also monitoring my own status on, do I hear more voices? Do I notice any changes? That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Jonas.
Jonas would probably just be doing the same thing. Is he hearing more voices? Are any of the voices louder than any of the other voices?
I'm going to say no. The only real reason Jonas is hearing this is kind of family history with the Borg, notwithstanding, his connection with Dahli is what allows him to kind of listen as clearly as he does.
That's totally fine.
That being said, Dudley, you are receiving a directive
Oh, baby.
to
Internal or external?
from the collective
Oh,
to
baby.
rendezvous at these at this certain set of coordinates, which happens to be near or at the location of this Unimatrix.
Can I tell if a specific drone gave the order or if it was a unified consensus?
It is a consensus.
Okay. So I will tap my combat. Captain West, may I speak?
Of course.
It seems we have rendezvous coordinates.
Let me guess. The Unimatrix?
Correct.
Bianca just kind of sits back in her chair and kind of like folds her like hands over her belly, and she just kind of like thinks a moment, and she just goes, well, I suppose we were going to be going there sooner or later.
Would you like me to attempt to discern a motive?
That would be helpful. Also, I'm not inclined to believe that they're here to assimilate. They'd be all over us by now if they were.
I concur. They seem to have scanned the area, found a remote location, and inhabited it as far away from civilization as perhaps.
But not so far enough away that we wouldn't pick them up.
Like I said, they were in distress. Perhaps they wish to be found.
It's possible.
Well, if we're going... Wait, is Jonas hearing all this?
Yeah.
And I would presume we've done scans for the cloaked Borg vessels in the nebula.
By this point, you probably would have, and at least in the Felothrix sector, you have found nothing.
Well, and the Borg would have to know that this is kind of like our base of operations here.
That is something they would know, yes.
If they wanted to start trouble, they'd be here. And they are building something.
They are building a Unimatrix.
They're building something, a Unimatrix or something else, and they don't want anyone near it. The fact that they invited you out there is a little worrying.
I inadvertently attempt to reconnect to the hive. They no doubt wish to communicate.
Oh. Well, at least if by the looks of it, they're being polite about demanding your presence.
They are not attempting to kidnap me this time. That is true.
When did they want you at this location?
They have not specified.
Captain, are we even flight capable right now with how everything's going?
We should be. The assimilation has been contained to Section 43
7.
of Deck 17. Huh?
Section
47 of Deck 17. Our vital systems have been unaffected so far. I'm also thinking that they might be able to help us. It's just a big risk.
Captain.
Well,
Go ahead, Jonas.
well, it never hurts to ask if for help. The worst they can do is say no. The worst they can do past that is assimilate us all.
Which is going to happen anyway if the infection spreads.
Dahli and 19 both frown at that. That's a weird way to put that, but yeah.
They're like, assimilation's not that bad.
No, it's more the idea, like they're trying everything to not assimilate the crew. They don't want to. So it's like, no.
I guess I should go back to the bridge then.
I suppose. Captain, if I could be so, I suppose, droll in such a situation, I believe the expression is gallows humor. Do you have a favorite isometric shape?
Dodecahedron.
Noted.
Thank you for that. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I had to like unlock my phone, then move to the program, unmute my mic just so you could hear it. So
I appreciate
you're
the
welcome.
I appreciate the effort. I actually do very much like the dodecahedron.
And then I will look to Jonas and give him like kind of a get it smile, even though it's like bad. Like I know it's a bad joke, but like, please.
Jonas is gonna smile and nod.
Lieutenant Carden, are you well enough to come to the bridge?
Yes, Captain. I'll be there in just a moment.
We have a new course.
Aye, Captain. Message. Send for me if anything happens.
Of course.
And then Bianca's going to ping Shiana.
And on his way out of med bay once the doors are shut, Jonas is going to remove the inhibitor and put it back in his pocket when he makes his way to the bridge.
I'm gonna say Shiana's been in sickbay this whole time.
Yeah.
You know, keeping an eye on the Borg.
Yep.
Problem.
Especially since you never said you left. So yeah.
Yeah.
In that case, Bianca's just gonna be like, Shiana, I'm gonna need you up here too.
On my way.
Deploy security teams on every deck. Be ready for anything.
Consider it done.
Commander Darrow.
Yes, Stoppy.
I will ask you the same question I posed the captain.
Please repeat the question.
Do you have a favorite polyhedral shape? What's your favorite shape, Shiana?
What's your favorite scary movie, Shiana?
Okay, guys, hold on. Just wait. Doing a little Googling.
That's fair.
If the 20-sided die is an icosahedron, if that's what you're looking for.
That's perfect, thank you. And icosahedron.
And you just get a smile in return.
May I ask why you ask me this?
If the ship is fully assimilated, I wish to know what shape you would like.
At which point, Shiana's face goes completely grim,
Yeah, put that bitch in the brig.
and she proceeds to the bridge.
Okay.
I will take your... And, like, the door closes behind you.
Oh, Steph.
Borg humor. Never
Apparently it's a thing now.
say the Borg are funny.
Uh-huh.
Counterpoint, they're not. Okay, so we are on the bridge. Bianca, you are notified that the USS Valkyrie is en route to rendezvous. Should be here in about 20 minutes.
Well, we'll wait for them, and then we'll head off to see our Borg friends.
Our Borg friends.
Well, so far they're friends, I guess. They're not
I know
trying
we
to
might have.
assimilate us all, so
Have we actually been able to create technology to find cloaked ships now in this era, or is that something we're still struggling with?
It's still a struggle if they're not friendly. Like, if they don't want you to see them.
there's
Dalfrey
like some
has
tricks.
has helped in that regard as far as Unimatrix 652 vessels.
Okay.
It's kind of tapped you into their IFF.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just gonna have Jonas listen for any nearby vessels, but if he doesn't need to, then that's fine. I was
We
just
already scanned.
Yeah.
There's none in the sector.
That's good. Then he'll just sit at his station.
Okay. So let me check something real quick, but without further ado, I am going to go ahead and do a scene change. You all meet up briefly with the Valkyrie, just long enough to take Admiral Jar aboard. At which point, unless anyone has anything that they would like to do here, we will hit the slipstream button.
Is there any? Is that?
We're go
Hold
ahead.
Is the modification that we made to detect the cloaked Borg vessels? Is that something we can disseminate to the other ships, or is that going to be unique to us because we're having the assimilation problem?
That's going to be unique to Dauntless.
Okay.
So, are weapons and/or various other things set on a rotating modulation so that they do not adapt to it in case we get attacked?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Like, I didn't know if that's
Standard
standard
Borg
procedure now.
Yep,
yeah,
it is.
it's
The
standard Borg engagement procedure.
Janeway what's called the Janeway protocol, allows Starfleet vessels to negate the effects of Borg adaptation protocols. You don't get the same benefit on the ground, but the Dauntless's weapons don't have to worry about it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Then yeah, I just prepare stuff.
We have transphasic torpedoes, don't we?
No, you're not the Dauntless. I mean, Starfleet has access to them, but they're not aboard
Yeah.
Dauntless.
I was
I-
thinking that
Plus-
would be
I thought we
definitely
had a
that would be a
couple.
talent for sure because
Yeah.
quantum photon torpedoes are a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
that's
thinking
true.
transbasic
They are.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
That-
doesn't Valkyrie have transphasic torpedoes?
What's that?
Doesn't Valkyrie have transphasic torpedoes?
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Let me double check
I
though.
thought that's one of the upgrades that we did, as we took aboard a few. I mean, granted, that was like 30 plus years ago, but
No, those were quantum torpedoes 30 plus years ago.
oh, for some reason I thought they were transphasic.
Plus,
No,
plus
no,
rapid fire torpedo launchers.
Rapid fire torpedoes. Anyway, all right, never mind. That was just a weird thing that I got in my head. I
Yeah,
don't
no
remember.
worries. And in any event, I think it was the Curiosity that's Jar's flagship anyway, not the Valkyrie. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. I just didn't know if we were putting Curiosity in the game or not.
well, what if I told you it's already in the game? But it also does not have transphasic torpedoes.
No, I did not think so.
Okay. Okay, so we will do a scene change, which means I will deduct a momentum. We'll drop this Dauntless into Slipstream.
Anything need to be rolled or just an auto?
I'm doing this as just an auto thing, unless you want to roll it to
Okay.
generate momentum.
What would the difficulty be?
The difficulty is generally 3. So there's a chance you could actually lose momentum doing this.
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, yeah, we're fine.
All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is we're going to do another assimilation roll-off. But this time it will be more difficult.
I'll get in on that.
Okay?
Kultesh can get in on that as well.
Yep, that's true. Koltesh actually is a decent engineer.
Am I allowed? I'm still allowed to be in on it though.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can roll an assist on it. I think
Yeah.
Koltesh will take the lead here.
Cool. I'll go ahead and roll.
All right. What are we rolling?
Nothing.
You're rolling
okay.
daring engineering.
Do I have any focuses that apply here?
I don't think so. Unless you can somehow tie your EPS systems focus into this. Actually, no, I will let the EPS systems focus apply.
Okay, then.
I'm going to spend 1 threat.
Spending 1 threat to
Giving 19 an extra die. Basically
Okay,
making it a little easier for the Borg, and your base difficulty is 2 rather than 1.
Okay, I'd like to take a dice for cautious.
Okay? Alright, so 2 successes there.
Reroll that 0.
2 successes
I mean,
for
I-
the Borg, so unless you
Yeah, I'll re-roll the... Can I re-roll the 0?
yeah, you have cautious.
You have cautious.
Yeah, I'll re-roll it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Okay. At this point, I'm going to play the complication. The assimilation, the nanites not only break through the containment, but there's evidence that they have worked their way into the main deflector systems. It does not disrupt Slipstream. In fact, if anything, Dauntless is actually going faster now. Where it would have taken 20 minutes, it's now going to take 15.
Jonas is eyeing his computer console like, what's happening?
The flip
Hit
side
the
to
NOS
that...
button.
19 found the nitro. The flip side to that is that any attempt to remove the nanites from the main deflector are not something that you're going to want to attempt while the Dauntless is in slipstream.
Well, Koltesh will write up that nice little report and send it to the captain with a bunch of frowny, angry fat faces.
Little ridged foreheads.
Yep, angry Klingon emoji
It's
faces.
the default Klingon emoji.
Right, basically.
And a Batleth and a Borg face and then a Tribble.
The Tribble is the
Tribble,
most.
Tribble.
The Tribble is the most profane thing on there.
I guess, actually, I can. Captain, we are going a lot faster now. We're going to get there a lot sooner than we were beforehand.
Small favors?
I wouldn't
mean,
consider
if it weren't-
exceeding
If it
safe
weren't Borg
slipstream.
nanites, I'd be just leaving it alone and, letting it enhance all my ship systems. But they're Borg.
You make it sound like a stray puppy, Captain. I don't think that qualifies.
I said, but they're Borg.
Borg puppies exist, I think.
The Borg assimilate
Well,
puppies.
that's just disturbing.
Right? Like the Holotarg, only
I think-
greener and more Borgish.
Of resources.
Well, yeah, the last thing the Borg need are warhounds.
I just had a vision of Jean-Luc's Basset Hound as a Borg.
You mean the pit bull?
Oh, was it a pit bull?
Yeah, it's a pit bull.
Wait, who had the... Someone had a... it was a dog. I forget which one. Oh, well.
Right.
Captain Archer had
Archer
a
has a beagle.
Yeah.
At least until Scotty came along.
How dare you
Indeed.
mention such a thing?
Although that probably wasn't Porthos, but
No, probably not the same
and that
dog.
was also in the alternate universe. I pretend that doesn't exist. So.
Fair. Okay.
Jonas is going to keep monitoring Slipstream just in case.
Yeah, no, the phase variances are all in alignment. It's just the speed has increased by about 25%.
Well, if there's anything you can say about the Borg and their nanites, is that they're efficient.
Yeah.
But the only upside to this, Captain, is that they're still not in the computer system, Dash says.
Good.
But at this rate, I'm not sure how much longer we can hold them out.
Well, we'll see what we can do about that.
Well, my teams are on it, but if they start getting into assimilating the bioneural gel packs, they'll use our own encryption against us.
I'm fully well aware.
Yeah, me too.
Somewhere on the ship, Koltesh is wishing he could just take a batleth to them.
To the nanites.
Same
Tiniest
for
batleth
Shiana.
ever. Tiniest batleth ever.
Exactly. He and Shanna
Yep,
can
yep,
just
yep,
go
yep.
into the computers and fight the virus.
That would be so great. Could we have a Tron episode of Dauntless?
Sean, what are you talking about? I was talking about Magic School Bus. Let's Miss Frizzle this.
Seatbelts, everyone!
Seatbelts for
Please,
you're about to fight the
you know,
Borg.
field trip with the frizz? No way! Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what is Star Trek other than, like, futuristic magic school bus. Let's be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
They shrunk a runabout to the size of a drone, and they flew it around the Defiant. Inside
Yes.
the Defiant.
Yes, they did.
That's some magic school bus shit.
Yes, it is.
The tiredness in the voice.
All right.
At least it had
Anyway.
comedy going for it, though. Like, there are other episodes that we won't talk about that did not. Yeah. So, let us just go ahead and drop right to it, shall we?
Yep.
Yay! Thanks, I hate it. Thanks.
Ooh, pyramid. Oh no, that's a diamond.
Yep. Y'all,
Nobody got time for a diamond.
hey, Sarah has played the one game that she would know. You do not ever want to see a Borg pyramid. Which what were those two games called? Bridge? Not didn't have Bridge in it.
Armada.
Armada. Yeah, Armada and Armada 2 had Borg pyramids that would assimilate an entire planet in like 30 seconds.
Oh, the pyramids were Armada 2.
Yeah.
The original
Fun.
Armada did not have such a thing that was so scary.
Right.
I
So,
played that game with cheat codes, and I do not regret it.
same.
It was hard. It was hard.
Same. I suck at real-time strategy, so.
I managed the original Armada. I managed to get through without cheat codes until the very last level, and that I had to use cheat codes.
No shame.
But Armada 2, no, fuck it.
No shame. You should be in charge of your own difficulty. I'm totally okay with that. And if anyone's not, they can fight me. But don't. It's just,
Anyway.
let people enjoy things.
What the fuck is this thing that looks like the Whale Pro, but it's Borg? I don't know.
That is okay. So that Bianca and Shanna both would know this. That is a Borg Unimatrix command vessel. It is basically a sized down version of V'ger.
Oh.
Of what? V'ger?
Yes.
So it's massive.
So they're going with that origin story that nobody liked.
Yeah, that's a Star Trek Online thing. I'm not necessarily a fan of it myself. The ship does look cool, though.
And Bianca's just like, haha, the belly of the beast, I have brought us here. Ha! Internal screaming.
Jonas just staring around at everything like, that's kind of cool looking. That's slightly terrifying. They're in my ship. They're in my girlfriend. This is fine. We're great.
Oh, you called her your girlfriend.
I was thinking, no, there has not been an official date yet. No, it has just been sessions of teasing.
They've
have
had dates.
Yeah,
Hydroponics counts.
Like awkward middle schoolers.
Yeah, and
They're adults. The other guy's 1,000 years old or something.
yeah, it's Alarian and
are like your middle schoolers.
Thank you. It's true.
It is true.
Hey, every date I have ever been on as a live human being has always been an awkward fourth date or date.
Same.
We are just as bad dating as adults as we were as teenagers.
I know this is true of me. Okay, anyway, so
Borg!
Bianca's just like having this moment of, oh my god, what have I done?
Right?
How
Like,
loud is it?
she's just like, she's like, I know what I'm doing, 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 I know what I'm doing.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
Oh, they're that loud.
They are.
Oh, standard greeting. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I assume we're already at red alert, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes.
have been,
We have
yes.
security teams on every deck. Like, we are bristling.
I am going to.
Apart
Scan
from
the
that,
board
they've
vessel.
made no hostile acts. Taken no hostile action.
I'm going to scan the board vessel.
Okay.
Oh, interesting choice.
Actually, Bianca's gonna hold up her hand and she's gonna countermand that. She goes, "Don't do anything."
So I will turn off all sensors then. Like, don't we just get normal stuff?
You get passive sensors.
Yeah,
passive
I'm
scans
gonna
are
look at the
fine, but,
readout
like,
of
no
what it
active-
says.
No
I'm
active
gonna look at the
scan.
readout of what's going on there.
Okay. So,
And then Bianca's going to respond. She's going to say, "This is Captain Bianca West of the Federation starship Dauntless. We are here because you have called one of our crew members here. We believe that if you were truly wanting to assimilate this vessel, you already would have.
and there's just kind of a long silence for a moment.
Rye's gonna look around confused because they're already attempting to assimilate our vessel. So he's gonna have this puzzled look.
Well, they weren't actively trying to. That was Dolly oops.
Dolly's oops. Oops, I simulated the ship. Whoopsie doodle.
Look, sometimes instructions on got stuck in ceiling fan.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna make my way up to the bridge, by the way.
Captain Bianca West. You and the Borg unit designated 19 of 30, tertiary adjunct to Unimatrix 652, will beam to these coordinates.
Did I hear that? Who's coming to the bridge?
I am.
Who's? Does security stop her?
No, she hasn't been confined.
Okay.
She does have a security escort with her, however.
Yeah, I have
okay.
I have like 6 babysitters.
Well, 3.
Well, okay.
I will agree under one condition. That we will be able to return to our ship unmolested.
Your condition is irrelevant. You will beam to these coordinates.
And Bianca kind of just like, she read all about Voyager's missions when she was young, so she recognizes this kind of like Borg non-negotiation sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, they are negotiating, they're just doing it in their way. Like, and she kind of looks over at Sally and she goes, only Janeway could go to the Unimatrix.
Suppose if this were any other situation, a celebration would be in order.
And Bianca kind of looks at you like you've got lobsters crawling out of your ears. And we're just gonna move to the transporter pad at the aft of the bridge.
Jonas is watching the pair of you like a hawk.
And Shiana is probably shitting a brick.
Shiana? Well, we can join each other on the toilet then.
What a kind invitation, Commander, but I will decline.
I think Shanna would much rather be
Yeah.
on that away
I mean,
team.
if the captain looks at me and says, "Rye, are you gonna shit a brick?" my face will answer that. I don't actually say that. Like, I am not a Vulcan. I'm really looking at you like, okay, all right.
I think several people wish they were going on this away team.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. If I
No,
will-
they only asked for me and Dolly. I'm not going to give them any reason to interpret our actions as hostile.
I will say, Bianca, given traditional Borg threat response protocols, they would probably ignore anyone else on the away team unless they did something hostile.
That's true. Captain, I will do my best to ensure that you remain as possible and return unchanged.
I'll do the same for you. And she's just gonna motion to Dolly's babysitters to come with.
Yep. Okay. I will be right back, y'all.
This is fine! Negotiating with the Borg always goes well. Last time there was a virus, but Duckley doesn't know about that because that didn't happen in her universe.
This is fine.
Sorry, Josh?
I have a wiggle head.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Waggle waggle.
This is fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Oh man, I wish I had art skills because then I would just edit the "This is fine" dog with like board game plants.
This is not fine. None of this is fine.
This is irrelevant.
I will be right back. I'm going to get a drink and then scream somewhere where no one can hear me.
Aww.
But we will know.
So, like, I'm totally cool with letting them stay here so long as they stay where they're fucking at.
Yeah, that's basically my thought.
But the problem is that our collective is gonna be like, ooh, shiny.
Yeah.
If we let them
Yeah, that is the exact problem.
like
Oh, new knowledge that we can tasty taste. Let's just vacuum this up into our own brains.
Also, realistically, they would be quite the threat to this Unimatrix.
The collective of this universe?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot more people.
It's a lot more, and they're more militant.
Yeah,
Because of the team.
this Unimatrix is maybe only 1 million drones. Like, it's not that many.
Relatively speaking.
Compared to its original population of about 7 billion.
Right.
Because that's
And compared to this universe's collective, which is probably like
in the trillions,
probably close
easily, yeah.
in the trillions.
Probably.
Borg numbers are scary.
Yeah.
Like, when you consider a basic cube is what? I think 11,000 to 17,000 drones.
I don't know. Let me look.
I have returned.
Yay.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Up to 130,000
On a cube?
on a cube.
Oh, then there's got to be more on a Unimatrix ship.
Yeah. Probably like close to 500,000.
Yeah, I'd say at least 1 million.
So, by the way, Don, the
Yes.
security officers are armed with TR-116s per the captain's orders.
That makes total sense. I am going to make that a momentum spend, however.
Okay. And then Bianca will be armed with a standard phaser, Type 2 phaser.
Okay. Standard Type 2 phaser and like one of those little devices that you can use to remodulate your weapon, like a remodulation device.
Yeah, it's a remodulation mod, whatever that is.
The specific weapon was the Infinity Modulator in one of the video games.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's like a thing like in Star Trek Online, you can equip your weapons with things, and
Yeah.
there's like a thing that's like it automatically like
Yeah, Star Trek Hazard Team, I think is what it was called.
Mhm.
You were on Voyager.
Elite Force?
Yeah, Elite Force. There you go. You were the
Yeah,
Elite
I
Force,
remember that
but you were
game.
on the Hazard Team. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that game was
it's
scary.
fair. Borg are a hazard.
That was a scary game.
I think we're ready to go.
I think so.
Yep, let's do this.
So who's on your team?
So, two goons. I mean, Ensign Ricky and his friend, and
Ensign Ricky and Ensign Beefcake. Okay.
I mean, unless Gunny can come.
Can
with
one
us.
Can one of them be at least a lieutenant junior grade? Like, come on.
Let's have Gunny and Lieutenant Junior Grade Ricky. Lieutenant Junior.
Okay. That'll work. And yeah, Gunny is also known as Gunnery Chief Arthur Chesty Bits. Was originally created as a secondary character by one of our former players who was in fact in the Marines.
Yeah,
So-
he's a Mako and a Cardassian, and he takes no shit.
Pretty
And he's
much.
fucking hilarious too.
And he taught 19 how to drink.
He may have also taught Jonas how to drink. I don't recall now though.
I think that was the same bar trip.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it was Shiana who taught Jonas how to drink.
Okay, that's
Yes,
fair.
thank you very much. It was Shiana.
Right, you're right. No, because Shiana, it was Gunny who went to the bar and invited us. That's right.
Okay, so yes,
Anyways.
Gunny. It'll be Gunny and another Mako with you all, and Shiana going as well, or staying aboard the ship.
Yeah, Shiana has the con.
Probably one of those times when she's not liking being the first officer.
Yeah, you could say that.
She wouldn't like the Borg ship either.
No, but at least on the Borg ship she could shoot Borg. Then again,
Though this away team doesn't seem intent on shooting Borg, so it's probably good to leave her off. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because that's exactly.
She's got her own Borg shit to worry about. All right. So we will go onto the interior of the Unimatrix.
Oh, there's an interior?
This is again an in-game shot from a Star Trek Online. So, but
Ooh, look at all the glowy bits.
It's not creepy at all.
and the dangly and wiry, cabley bits.
And the pods or alcoves on the sides. Yeah.
Mhm. And just the steady thrum of the interior of a Borg ship.
Oh, poor Bianca. It's gonna be so humid. Your hair.
And Bianca, the voices.
That's also me concerned about the hair. Bianca getting invaded by voices.
In fact, Bianca, I'm going to have you do a composure check here.
Okay.
So naturally your composure focus will apply. It's going to be
Okay.
control command.
Okay.
Can I assist her?
Yes.
I don't know how, but I want to try.
I mean, she can pick up on your thoughts as well. So maybe just try to think really hard.
Sure. Yeah. That works.
Luckily, I have a composure focus. And I'm going to take a momentum.
Okay, I'm
What
going to
would I be assisting with?
control command. Actually, presence command for you. I'm setting the difficulty here at 1, by the way.
Neurology focus?
I didn't realize you took an extra die there, Bianca.
I did. I said I was.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it. It's fine.
Okay. I just took it for cautious.
Okay.
Ooh! I have insightful guidance! Yay!
What does that do for you?
When I assist a character in social conflict using knowledge of psychology or emotional states, they have an advantage in addition to normal benefits provided by my assistance.
Okay. She was successful anyway, but go ahead and roll your assist.
Do I have a focus?
Let me look. Yes, your xenopsychology focus applies here.
Hey.
Nice. Y'all are topped out on momentum now, thanks to that. I wasn't anticipating that going in, but it's all right.
I kind of was like trying to build momentum off of that, so that's good. That's good. Because we'll need it.
Yeah, you might.
If it goes sideways, we'll fucking need it.
You just
Hey, good thing I have a diplomacy focus.
So do I.
might. Well, that's just fucking handy, isn't it?
Also, I have better than you know yourself, which is it's gives me an advantage in social conflict.
Nice. That's good.
Much as Borg are social, I guess. Let me read what that command that talent does real quick.
Yeah.
So I guess once we arrive and Bianca kind of has adjusted to the situation, I will turn to her. Captain, perhaps.
And Bianca is like rock solid. Like she's.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah,
She's afraid, but she's courageous. So she's not showing it, and she's not backing down.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
that's fair.
she's kind of found her center, with a little bit of help and mental reassurance from Dauntless, in fact. And she's like, these are Borg, but they're not in a position of strength, despite being in a stronger position than maybe Dauntless if it were to come to shots fired. Their negotiating position is not as strong as it could be.
Captain, if I can suggest 2 things before we engage.
Anything.
Do not underestimate this vessel or this collective.
Oh, I am very well aware of the threat.
And in spite of the situation, perhaps follow my lead.
I would be inclined to do that.
I'm gonna look for a nearby, command port or, like, you know those, I don't know what they're called. There's a fucking techno-babble word for it. But you know those things that they have on the board? Like the round thing that you put the thing on and you push all the buttons?
Kind of.
Like, it's like a console, but it's like a special thing?
Like a console that you're meant to interface with a little bit more directly than Starfleet consoles?
Yeah. I'm gonna look for one of those.
You actually start looking around and see 3 drones approaching.
Good.
One of whom you recognize as Tyrannus.
Good. Can I tell? He was human, right?
He was Romulan.
Or he seemed.
No, he was
he's
Romulan. Yeah.
Can I tell the origin species of the other? Oh, they would probably also be Romulan. Huh?
Also Romulan, yes.
What would they? Oh, right, they assimilated Romulus. Yeah, they would probably all be Romulan. Duh.
Yeah, all species
yes.
3783.
Right. Oh, let me open my Borg designation link. I haven't had that open for a while. So yes, I will, I guess, look to him.
And it just kind of scans each of you in turn with the laser from his left eye, kind of almost. I don't want to cheapen it by calling it a barcode scan, but it kind of is acting that way. Species 1599 Betazoid. Species 2000 Cardassian. Species 5008 Klingon. Species 3783 Romulan. Captain Bianca West, 19 of 30. I am Tyrannus. I speak for the collective.
I recall you from before. What consensus has the collective reached?
The collective has reached the consensus that it needs a queen, albeit temporarily. It has not
I'm just gonna look at Bianca out of the side of my eye.
It has not, however, reached a consensus on which drone should suffice for that role.
Why is a queen required?
A queen is required to expedite the process of seeking consensus.
What are the goals of this collective beyond simple reunification?
Once reestablished, this collective will continue its original directive to seek perfection.
Will you do so through assimilation of other species?
Yes.
Wrong answer. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm not happy about that answer.
Are you trying to like outright hide your emotional response? Okay.
No.
"19 of 30. Your reaction is illogical. You know that assimilation is the means by which the Borg improve the way of life of all species.
Do you recall the information I uploaded previously to the collective?
We are Borg.
Then you, in some senses, would see the benefits of individuality, or at least consensual assimilation.
Consensual assimilation, as you put it, is it efficient? Consent is
Oh.
irrelevant.
Consent is not irrelevant. Push this Borg in the face. Not actually, though, but like I want to. If we provide a means by which a species can voluntarily integrate both themselves and their information to a collective, it would be seen as beneficial and diplomatic rather than oppressive.
Would it be more efficient?
It would decrease resistance.
And while not saying anything, Tyrannus has this look on his face as if he's listening, waiting for you to clarify.
I'm gonna let Bianca keep talking.
How much in the way of resources do the Borg expend fighting to assimilate other species?
Expenditure of resources is necessary in order to achieve perfection.
Of course, but you want to do so wisely, do you not?
In the most efficient way possible.
We wish to achieve perfection in the most efficient way possible.
Did it occur to you that forcible assimilation, while efficient in numbers that it brings into the collective, is not necessarily an efficient use of resources, an efficient use of time, an efficient use of social capital?
The Borg assimilation of Romulus took place over approximately 6 months. In that time, we lost 3 Borg cubes and gained 7 billion Borg drones. From
continue.
From the wreckage of Romulan vessels, we were able to reassemble 3 Borg cubes. We additionally assembled 15 new Borg cubes using resources gained from the surface of Romulus and Remus.
This collective is not as it once was. This collective is small.
Has strength in numbers.
This collective must rebuild.
Agreed. However, in order to rebuild, a new methodology must be put into place. Assimilation through a more diplomatic measure will be seen as innovative, and the information and technology gained will be of greater benefit than mass assimilation and brute force. the information will be pre-curated.
Also consider that the faster you grow, the more that you will gain the attention of this universe's Borg collective.
We are amenable to means of growth that do not require brute force. We are Borg. We are also Romulan.
What does he mean by that?
Let's have you do a insight command roll. And I'm going to oppose it with Tyrannus's control command. The base difficulty is going to be 1.
Okay, I'm assuming xenopsychology applies.
Yes.
I'm gonna, if it's cool, I'm gonna buy an extra dice with momentum.
You're maxed, you may
Go
as well.
for it.
Oh, wow.
You win the tie.
Okay, cool.
Thinking on this as Dahli and as 19, after the Borg assimilated Romulus, they became open to more subtle tactics, more subtle strategies, subterfuge, lying.
So that should tell you everything they're saying is bullshit.
How do you explain morality to a Borg? This whole fucking episode.
Me and Shannon know how to explain morality. It's called quantum torpedoes. They're right
Oh my
here.
god.
You don't explain morality. It's inefficient.
And yeah, no, it's true. It's irrelevant. I'm gonna look to Tyrannus. May I attempt a interlink with you? As our thoughts are not one.
You may proceed.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna mash my brain into his brain.
Yeah. How does this work?
Fucking understand me, bitch!
Okay, so what do
Is
you?
there any way I can help this telepathically? Like,
Yeah, let's. I would say so. You can probably act in assistance to Dahli with what she's trying to do here.
yeah. Kind of project my thoughts as well.
Okay, so Dahli, what are you attempting to extract, for lack of a better word?
I'm trying to impress upon him, like, the benefits of
Not being asshole.
yeah, basically. Like, I'm trying to be like, you can still be Borg and Romulan and individuals and assimilate people, but, like, ask first!
It's not the most efficient thing in the universe, but it's going to go over better.
Like, you get more flies with honey. You know, like that kind of whole. But, like, also appeal to his logic. But I don't know how to word that, so. Just
So that's somewhere that 19 and Dahli definitely would.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, I'm coming at this from Dahli's perspective. I'm coming at this from 19's perspective. I'm coming at this from Naale's perspective as a diplomat, as a person who is a Romulan, as a person who is a Borg. You know, like, I can see all of the benefits of this, but like, and like, I am more than happy to impart wisdom on it and like help them become better, but like not evil.
Gotcha.
Help.
So Bianca, how would you add to that?
Think. Well, because Bianca's kind of like an empath first and foremost, right? But
She's been an
emotions
empath her entire life. The telepathy thing is kind of new for her.
Well, yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, in terms of like her strengths. I kind of
thinking a good thought. Slavery's bad, okay? So like,
I kind of want to communicate the terror, like, and try to communicate that how that's counterproductive to their goals. Like, is this your perfection? Like
juxtapose people running and hiding versus people like hugging,
coming voluntarily, inquisitively.
Once individuals are assimilated, their fear is no longer relevant. We free them from it. We bring them closer to perfection. Why would any individual not want this?
Like, I need to communicate ideas of like they're complex ideas, because it's like it's like people still want to be, they want to have their freedom, they want to have choice, they want to have,
like, people want to be part of something, but they still want to be themselves.
The cooperative is a thing, right?
It is. It's not a thing that these Borg would necessarily know about. Well, no, they would. They would, in fact, know about it, because the collective was around before the timeline split.
Right.
Is the cooperative the thing that Hugh set up?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So just, like, rave about that in their brain.
So we should adapt and become more like this cooperative.
It makes more sense given that you do not have the overwhelming numerical superiority that you used to.
Then once we have reestablished our numbers, we should resume our quest for perfection.
It's like a loop. It's like
how would you resume that quest for perfection? Would you begin assimilating by force again?
Once our force was sufficient, it would be the most efficient means.
Like, efficiency is not always the best thing.
Try to explain that to a computer.
Right. But they are artificially intelligent.
The quest for perfection, gained via integration with other species, may help you seek perfection in areas that are not numerical.
Quality versus quantity.
Correct.
What meaning of perfection would you suggest?
What even
Oh.
is perfection?
Don't
Like,
go there,
like
Bianca.
ask them to define perfection for us. Like, what does that mean to you?
Lee opens her mouth and then closes it and like looks really thoughtful.
Perfection for us is all beings of all species united under the collective.
That's completionist. That is not perfection.
Once we have assimilated all beings of all species, the Borg will be perfect.
There's
Again, a completionist. That's not perfect.
furthermore, in so doing, you will have no further goal.
You will stagnate.
The Borg will then become irrelevant. Rather than assimilating, you can continue to, or assimilating via force and through complete domination, you can do so via cooperation. And by working with other species, you can unify and create ideals for a future series of Borg for them to gain their own version of perfection. I have come to. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have come to realize, since my severance from the collective, that perfection is not an ending point. It is a continual cycle, and something that you are continuously attempting to reach. And in doing so, you better both yourself and those who surround you.
A cooperative entity. You describe the Federation. Do you not?
The Alpha Quadrant Alliance.
The Federation has resisted the collective's attempts at assimilation.
Very effectively.
However, if you show that the Borg are willing to do so through perhaps more diplomatic measures, become known to the Federation, and work in conjunction with the Federation towards perfection, they would be much more receptive. Oh my god!
Borg cat!
Yeah, and she's across the apartment. She's not even like in an adjacent room.
Oh, Jasmine, we love you. Not too bright, though. So Tyrannus appears to consider this for a long moment, and Dauntless and Bianca, you both can hear kind of the conversation going on within the collective, within this Unimatrix.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be considering And as the silence continues, seem to be reaching a consensus more aligned toward the points that you've presented.
Yes, 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 yes.
Bear in mind, they learned from Romulans how to lie.
Not all of us are mistrusting!
I am.
Some of us are hopeful.
I mean, some of us are also foolish. You know.
Also, I can
Ow.
tell when people are lying, so.
It's mostly true,
fair.
yeah.
Also, I don't think that Borg, even though they're Romulans, I don't think Borg Romulans would have, like, the ability to be like, I am going to shut you out of my brain, like a Tal Shiar operative would.
Keep in mind, Tyrannus has lied before.
He has.
This is
Yeah,
true.
he lied directly to my face.
Yeah, that being said, it's you've got a better read on the collective at the moment, and the entire collective conspiring to lie, you would be able to pick up on that.
Yeah, that's fair.
given where you are. But finally, after what seems like an hour, it's probably only been 5 minutes, but he hasn't said a word. Gunny's over on the side, like sighting his rifle. Like, just in case, Captain, I'm ready in case this shit goes sideways. Because Borg shit always goes sideways with them. Fucking. Tyrannus finally speaks up and says, "We will seek out contact with this Borg cooperative. If the Borg collective attempts to intervene, we may find our numbers increasing to their detriment. We also wish to establish contact with the Alpha Quadrant Alliance. 19 of 30. You will speak for our collective to the Alliance."
Very well.
Congratulations, Ambassador.
Oh, that's Steph's reaction. That's not the character.
Mr. Magoo's your way into being an ambassador.
God damn it. I'm gonna look to Tyrannus, then give a curt nod. I will require being interlinked with this collective. However,
that brings me to another point. We currently have nanites infecting our ship. And while I am willing to have 19 remain interlinked to this collective, I cannot allow my ship to be assimilated. It is not in the best interest of cooperation.
We have improved your ship's systems. Those we have been able to access.
Yes, which is great, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that. However, Borg nanites also have the detrimental effect of me not being able to control my ship anymore.
Individuality is important.
Very well, we shall render the nanites inactive.
We will preserve them and return them to you.
That is not necessary. They are no longer relevant.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. We'll keep them in our labs for our own purposes then. Also, we can assist you in finding a planet that would be sufficient to protect you from this universe's collective. in this region. However, I feel for the comfort of the indigenous populations of this region, it would have to be fairly isolated.
Planets are useful collections of resources. However, they are immobile, poor strategic locations. We shall remain where we are for the time being, away from any star systems, more difficult to find. That is the way of our Unimatrix, our collective.
Bianca kind of just nods and she goes, then we have an accord. I will put you in touch with the Alpha Quadrant Alliance.
19 of 30 will put us in touch with the Alpha Quadrant Alliance.
I will give them access.
We appreciate your cooperation, Captain.
And we appreciate yours. See? Isn't that easy?
And
maybe not efficient, but easy.
And with no further ado, you all find yourselves back aboard the bridge of the Dauntless.
Hey, do I look normal again?
No. But the nanites that are in your system, you can tell they've stopped doing whatever it is they've been doing.
Cool. Do I hear the board?
Yes, because that part is kind of essential to you being like their ambassador.
Their ambassador. Cool story, bro.
Oh.
Well, and this is a good thing, because if they decide to become hostile, you'll know it.
That's fair.
Did we have any warning that they were beaming back over?
No.
Will she be aware? I mean, will she? I mean, my character. If this is in any way an in-character discussion, will she be aware? Does she? Do we know that?
Guess we'll find out.
That is an extreme security risk. Our chief medical officer is now a ambassador for a hostile interdimensional force.
Not hostile.
That up until I believe, Captain, if I'm reading your report correctly, is the fact that they up until moments ago decided from efficiently conquering the entire quadrant to talking. So forgive me if I'm a little bit leery in this sudden change of heart.
Commander Tekrev. Commander, this is not the time or place to raise your security concerns. If you have such concerns, bring them to me.
Commander, I have a great deal of security concerns.
Then you may bring them to me in private.
Okay. So,
I love that. Commander, I have a great number of security concerns.
With that, I will excuse myself from briefing. So, Lieutenant Commander Rye will go wherever the scene is taking place. We'll see himself out.
I'm sorry, I thought he was like spouting off on the bridge. That's the only reason I did that.
No, that's fine. Wherever it is, somewhere.
That was kind of the impression I got too.
Oh, Bianca was fully expecting some sputtering, but she was actually expecting it to come from
All right, so you know what? Let's hit the ready room. because I am kind of interested in having this play out and how this plays out.
Are you doing just Shiana and Rye, or are you doing everybody?
Well, Shiana and Rye for starters. Who else, Shiana, would you invite
I'll
in?
be there too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let them talk about their security concerns without me standing there awkwardly.
I kind of figured.
And
I guess Jonas is either there, or if they want him, he's in the pilot's chair ready to bolt whenever they say so. I mean, if they're going to be friendly, he doesn't really have to fly right now because they're not going to try and assimilate them.
I think everybody but Dauntless should be there, probably.
Okay, that works. We can just have like a mini conference.
So we now have an ambassador to interdimensional Borg refugees? Is this what we're going to call them?
Do we really believe that to be accurate?
We're still not assimilated right now.
Yet, per everyone's reports, they've stated their intentions, once they've regained their strength and numbers, to continue on a course of assimilation.
No, that was their initial response. When we pointed out they don't have the overwhelming support in numbers to assimilate entire worlds at the moment.
And on what grounds do we accept that statement as truthful?
Well, the Borg don't lie. That much we know. No, they don't.
I believe I'm assuming there's a report referencing the previous scene. I believe that at least call this my little bit of personal knowledge in regards to this, that they are Romulan as well. And in addition, these are interdimensional Borg. Lying is not exactly the most advanced concept, especially tactically.
Well, when you have millions of voices trying to conspire all at the same time, it's usually pretty obvious.
And I would not begin to do. I will leave that to your capable hands, Captain. I am not a telepath, but I'm simply pointing out that, and I think everyone's already knowing this, but to immediately trust these interdimensional Borg because they have changed their minds in the span of, well, for them is a great debate. For us, puts the safety of the entire quadrant in trillions of lives based off a 5-minute diagnostic.
There are 10 times as many Borg unimatrices in the Beta Quadrant as there are here.
And
the Beta Quadrant is home to the majority of Federation space.
And Captain, and that is a great deal of concern, but at least for the purposes right now, this is our concern.
Indeed it is.
Commander.
Commander. Yes, we have security concerns. Nobody is unconcerned at the change of mind or heart, however you want to view it. But we have to take these things at face value, hope for the best, and prepare for the worst.
One thing at a time.
That is what we are here to do.
Now, back when Admiral Janeway negotiated with the Borg when Voyager was stranded in the Delta Quadrant, she had contingencies in place in the event that the Borg betrayed her trust. I think we should do the same. I'm not saying that we need to completely write this off as problem solved, everything's hunky-dory, but at this time, they are refugees, Borg or not. And if we are to stick to our ideals that the Federation was founded upon, it is up to us to be as compassionate as possible, even to the Borg. Remember that the only reason we still have Borg at all is because Captain Picard refused to eradicate them all and commit genocide. Or Admiral Picard. Now, whether you agree with that decision or not, that's not up for debate. But we're playing the hand that we're being dealt at the moment.
We will put the Janeway protocols in place.
And we'll be ready. We have the ability to keep an eye on them.
And what is that ability, Captain?
Jonas will lift his hand. I'm quite capable of listening in on them if they need it.
She's specifically speaking of Dahli.
Dahli, and the fact that are we still able to detect the cloak?
Yes.
And the fact that we are able to detect cloaked Borg vessels, which is an ability that they have let us keep.
And now I'm real quick, because I'm going to speak as a Romulan here for a second. Is it possible for you to change your cloak variants or whatever to totally negate, like if I was a Romulan and I told the Federation, hey, here's how you detect Romulan ships, and it works, but then we turn the meter to 15, can they no longer detect us? Or am I making, I don't want to cite a technology that has no basis.
Yeah, I get you. There are some methods of detecting a cloaked ship that are universal, like the tachyon detection grid that Starfleet came up with during the Klingon Civil War. Just plain works, whether the cloaked ship is Romulan, Klingon, what have you.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll go with my answer in regards to all that. Is we will definitely, Captain, have to look further into this sudden advancement of technology to see if it will be continually effective.
Of course.
Before we consider that to be the gesture of the Borg's goodwill.
But I have a feeling if we aren't detecting any at all of a sudden, for one reason or another, that might be cause for concern. But I have put in place a protocol to regularly scan for cloaked Borg vessels and to give those scans to the rest of the task force, as well as the Shroud and any other vessels that might be in the area at the time. For now, it's the best we can do because, to be honest, we are not in a position with this task force to be waging war on the Borg.
The tactical situation is not in our favor at the moment.
No. And I have also informed Starfleet Command of the situation. They will probably send more ships. So, I've also informed our allies in the Carina Nebula of the situation. They are, of course, concerned, but there's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of situations we're keeping our eyes on.
Yes, we still have many things we still have to find out.
I have also given the Borg our information on the Skinia, because I feel like that is probably the biggest threat. Because we still don't know how the Skinia operate. We don't know how they were able to continue to affect our operations.
Sorry, I'm trading puzzle pieces.
Jonas looks very relieved at hearing that.
And I believe the Borg would be particularly vulnerable to the Skinia. So for now, it's one of those, we'll keep our fingers on the pulse of the situation, and as it develops, we'll respond accordingly. If they become hostile, we'll cross that bridge if and when we come to it. And we'll put as many procedures in place to be ready for that possibility as we can. It's the best we can do for now.
Is our new ambassador still going to be serving as chief medical officer?
I don't see why not.
She has access to Starfleet protocols and records of the countless aboard this ship, and whatever she can access through Starfleet records.
She doesn't have access to. She doesn't have the security access that I would have or Shiana would have.
I would. It's fine.
Was someone going to say something?
Rye stops in the middle of a sentence.
So, the kind of information that she has access to is not anything any more special than what we would give the KDF or the Romulan Republic military or anybody else.
Are we certain that our chief medical officer no longer has these nanotubules that could inject people?
She will be undergoing a procedure to reverse her condition. She will still remain interlinked with this collective.
Is that something that you've spoken with her directly about?
I believe I would have. I believe that's what they would want.
As long as this is entirely what they want.
No, I'm not saying that, no, Dolly has to,
Okay. Just taking a moment.
Dolly would want all the extraneous shit removed because it's itchy.
Yeah. My concern is if she at any moment can begin assuming people back into the collective, her conducting physicals on crew members is probably not the wisest course of action.
If you don't trust her to give you a physical, I would suggest going to a different physician. We have plenty on the ship.
As she is the chief medical officer, that is her prerogative of who she will serve, and other people may have different feelings on it. I'm just simply stating if she has the ability at any moment to, whether the collective or whoever forces her to do that, if she could at any moment begin doing that, that is a security risk and something that her patients need to know that could happen at any time.
Commander.
Yes, Commander.
I'm going to say this again. Security concerns are my concern, not yours.
In that case, I would like to formally request that the chief medical officer no longer be designated as my physician.
Request granted.
Thank you. And also, too, since it seems that my ideas are being summarily dismissed, I see no reason for me to be at this briefing. With your permission, I will return to the bridge and maintain my duties.
Shiana looks to Bianca.
No, you are not dismissed.
Yes, Captain.
And your concerns are not being dismissed, Commander. I am fully well aware of the concerns, and we are doing everything we can. However, if you are telling me that we should completely cut off all contact and not pursue this avenue and completely reverse my decision, or reverse course on this, that is not something that I can do.
That is not what I'm asking you to do, Captain. My apologies if that is the position that I am giving. I am simply stating concerns but apparently the briefing room is not a place for me to do that. So I will
You
wait
can,
until...
You can bring concerns. I don't want you to think that. However, the security concerns are specifically Commander Darrow's department.
And paranoid Romulan you may be, I doubt that there is anything that you can think of.
Commander.
And I doubt that there is anything that you can think of in the arena of security paranoia that I do not think of myself.
Commander, I will ask you again to not reference my heritage in regards to my cultural behavior.
You
But
reference it yourself continually.
that is for me to do. I am a Romulan. You are not. But
All right, enough.
Jonas would like to listen.
What are you listening for in particular?
Jonas would like to know what is truly at the heart of this problem with our science officer.
Okay. Is that something that you would want to contest, Rye, or would you be willing to kind of let...
I'm not 100% up on how that would work, like how listening works. It's actually I know very little about how the Elorians
it's
do
not
that.
like telepathy. It's more like intuition.
Yeah, and I would say at this point in time, it's very obvious that Rye is not being as reserved as he normally is.
Right.
So I would say I'm not like, again, it's pretty easy to look at everyone and go, I think Rye's a little upset.
Right.
So I don't think I would contest it.
But
I
an
don't think
Elorian might be able to get right straight to the core of the matter.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
So my answer to you is no, I would not contest it because I feel like it's out there. Like he can do that. Yes. Okay. Let him work his voodoo.
So that being said, what is the core of this for Rye?
Well, I would say upon reading the thing there's two things that's happening here. Is the fact that and it's more of the security threat that up until whenever that decision was made, the Borg was one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire galaxy, and now we have Dahi here back on the ship when she was supposed to be severed beforehand. When I kind of brought up in that role play with her, like, hey, you're a half Borg and everybody accepts you, and that's kind of weird to me. And the fact that I'm a Romulan and nobody trusts my ass. Well, now she suddenly became Borg again, nearly assimilated the ship, and she's back in there. So my character's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, she's back here. I refuse to reveal my source, and I'm thrown in the brig because I'm, So I would say a little bit of it is the security concerns that it feels like we're just brushing these off. And, I would say a little bit of it's like, I get the crew's a family.
So yeah,
but it's like, whoa, it's like this. It's like apparently once you're in family, you get a free pass, even if you could at any moment just, become Robo Zombie again. So I would say,
And underlying all of that is a general anxiety and fear of the Borg, which is perfectly healthy in and of itself.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah, totally.
So Jonas, there it is on a silver platter.
Okay, so with all of that information given to Jonas, I would like to attempt to do a social role so I can at least put this situation into an area where it's not so tense and that everybody can understand where everyone else is coming from.
Okay. So you're kind of trying to diffuse the tension here. Absolutely.
Yes.
How do you see Jonas going about doing that?
They can't complain if they're all dead.
All right, Josh.
Sorry. Jonas would probably go along the lines of talking where Rye has mentioned he is Romulan.
Mm-hmm.
Dahli and 19 are Borg and Romulan. And Starfleet, the rest of us we are all different species that come apart to join under the Federation, or in other cases for other reasons.
You're all Starfleet, yeah.
Well, and not to mention, Dahli and 19 have always been as brutally transparent as they can be, like as they can be aware of, as regards to their motivations. Rye has not necessarily.
Well,
like,
without making this like one person versus another.
Right.
For the whole situation of this, it's more along the lines of, as individuals, we are not going to be able to settle everything in this room right now. We have problems and we have things happening out in the world around us that have need of our attention. This is a small scale. This is one note on the chorus of the background of the universe. And we are trying to make everything fit so that we are in harmony instead of discordant. Jonas would like to discuss this and say that he recognizes where Rye's coming from and he does understand, but there's a certain amount of trust that comes with being a part of a family, with being part of a crew. And while Rye hasn't had the best experience, he's still here. He's still being included. He's still a part of our unit, of our family, of our crew. We didn't just kick him off the ship.
Right, and that's one part of where it comes, what this entire thing is coming from. Like, Dudley occupies a place in this family. Rye feels like he does not. So how do you see Jonas, how do you see Jonas approaching that?
Approaching that point,
Dudley always wasn't. Like, there was when 19 was still 19, there was a big, there was a long time before.
I think for what Jonas is going for, I mean, I think at least for what he's trying to do is he's trying to calm the tension down in the room right now.
Yes.
And the long-term healing isn't going to happen in the briefing room, is what he's saying. So with what the captain was just bringing up in regards, or what the player, the captain was bringing up in regards to how Rye hasn't seen that. So bringing that up now doesn't, it kind of goes against what Rye's doing. That would be not Rye, what Jonas is doing.
Yeah.
That would be a role play later.
Yeah.
I think what Jonas is saying.
But it's a good point, which is that Shiana, who is now passionately defending 19/Dalhi, was the most skeptical of 19 when 19 arrived on Dauntless.
Shiana tried to shoot me.
And these are all valid things that I think, at least for Jonas's thing.
Yeah, but let's bring this back into character.
Yeah.
And let's bring this back into character too. So Jonas, I'm going to have you make an insight command roll.
Okay.
And I'm setting the difficulty here at 3.
Okay, I do get an extra dice because of my listener ability.
Yep.
I'm still trying to find that goddamn talent. I forget which supplement it was in.
I'm going to spend...
What supplement?
I'm going to spend 2 threat to increase your complication range, however. So your complication range is 3.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and... burn my value. Family is not always dictated by blood.
Okay. No, complication range 3. There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Sorry, I have my bind set to my right key, and I just kept scrolling through it while I was holding it down. So yeah, I'm going to burn family is not always dictated by blood to give myself 2 successes.
Yep, okay.
All right, and my attunement focus will come into apply here?
Yes.
All right.
That is a lot of successes.
2, 4, 6, 7.
Yes. Okay, so
Tension diffused?
As Jonas starts responding, and the nature of Jonas's response is kind of that everyone here is a family, and everyone has kind of earned their way onto being a part of this family. And I'll let you kind of phrase that how you like, Jonas.
Okay. All of us here in this room are here for many different reasons, but we're all on this ship because we've earned our place to be here through whatever means or back channels or being put here as part of our oh crap, what's that word?
Destiny?
Assigned here.
Oh.
Assigned here. Destiny is another good word. Because of these, we're all here for a reason, and we've all had the ability to be here to grow and change and show each other that we are capable of more than what we have been. Now, I know it is a difficult thing of what we're dealing with now. There is a lot happening in the universe. We have the Scania. We have our ships disappearing. We have Section 31 rogue holograms running about, stealing ships. But we're still here because we are a family. You may not feel like that, but you earned your spot to be here. Even after everything that's happened with Sloan and Section 31, you're still here. No one wants to see you off this ship, and no one is trying to exclude you from this conversation. You have very sincere concerns, and I'm sure Commander Darrow will listen to every single one of them, and will even think up things that you might not have, and you will think of things that they haven't. But standing here and looking at each other and accusing us, each of us accusing each other of not understanding and not doing something and not recognizing a potential threat, it's not going to get any of us anywhere. So I suggest, for the time being, Captain, is that maybe some downtime for your senior staff after everything we've been through.
It's very well put, Lieutenant Carden, and I agree.
If you all will excuse me, I'm going to go check on Lee. Captain, Lieutenant Commanders, and Jonas will exit the room to go find Lee.
And as Jonas was speaking, Bianca, you could just kind of feel the tension start draining from the others in the room. Like, the issues are still there. The disagreements are still there, but Jonas kind of took the oxygen out of the fire.
And Bianca's just going to look at her desk, before looking back up at Darrow and Rye. She's going to be like, I will want a security analysis and potential solutions. I suggest you collaborate together on that document.
Of course, Captain.
Aye, Captain.
Now you may be dismissed.
Walk out on the bridge and it's a fucking Borg cube. I've been assimilating the entire time. No, I'm kidding.
Damn it, Steph.
Meanwhile, the engineering crews are extracting all the nanoprobes from the ship
Yeah.
so that we can,
Jonas is in the process of writing up a report of, please let the one stay inside our main deflector dish to speed up our process of slipstream drive, please. Pretty please.
No, they have basically disinfected the Dauntless' systems. That being said, That being said, Dash does mention he's managed to keep some of the improved efficiency in the slipstream drive systems.
Yes.
Well, why don't we just use some of those to get us out of the Viper's nest?
Can I just say something that I had in mind for when Jonas walks out because it's stupid?
Yes.
Okay, so like I imagine when Jonas walks out, he's like all kind of like stressed and whatever, and he looks over and he sees his weird amalgam girlfriend spinning childishly in the pilot seat.
He's gonna stop and stare and.
Do those things even spin? I'm not so sure.
I think
They
they do.
For the
He's
purposes
just
of
gonna, like-
comedy, yes, they do.
Just, are you having fun?
Surprisingly, I
The answer to
feel
that-
quite,
Go ahead.
I feel quite good in spite of everything.
That's good. I was worried about you. You guys were gone for longer than I expected, but shorter than I expected as well.
Once these implants are removed, I think I'll feel like myself again. And I would like to have dinner.
Shut up. We can do dinner. What kind of dinner?
I'll let you surprise me.
Oh, okay. I can be very surprising.
And you're welcome for the improvements to the slipstream drive.
Thank you. That was very, very, very good.
Be right back.
I shaved a whole 5 minutes off of our slipstream drive. That's amazing.
I was hoping that I might be able to get to the shields next, but I
Dash
needed
had
a
other
medical-
ideas.
Yeah. I need to go to the sick bay and see Dr. Jean.
Would you like some company?
I'd rather be alone for this, but thank you.
All right.
And I will go become deborgified again.
Again. All right.
Once Doc Lee leaves Jonas's chair, he's gonna sit down and like look down at it, like, how on earth? And then he's gonna spin in his chair for the next 3 minutes.
The answer to that question is, how did Data make the L cars make music? It just happens.
Yeah,
It
sometimes.
just happened.
And that, I think, is where we're gonna. Well, and does anyone else have any? Sorry, my brain
I've
went in
one-
5 different directions.
No,
Shiana,
I have
go.
one tiny little thing I just want to insert. It's very
Yes.
small.
Yes.
So Shiana, like at the end of her duty shift, going back to her quarters to pluck hair
Mm-hmm.
and sort of coming into the room, and the door closes behind her, and her shoulders sort of fall in a weird kind of defeat, like not a thing that you're used to seeing in Shiana.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to Plakir, I don't think I'm cut out for this job.
I have Shiana Darrow, in all the time I've known you, you have not once quit.
I'm just not a very good first officer.
How do you know? How long have you been doing it? You've been doing it for...
No, I'm... Somehow I keep doing things wrong. Keep saying the wrong thing. Keep doing the wrong thing. No, you're right. I'm incredibly confident most of the time. Overly confident most of the time.
Perfectly confident most of the time.
I don't feel very confident right now. If you had seen the way Commander Krev questioned my ability to evaluate security concerns.
He doesn't know you yet. I'm a little surprised you didn't just punch him.
Well, I'm trying to not do that.
Sometimes Starfleet is inspirational, and sometimes I think the Klingons have the right idea.
And what idea is that?
But hey, if you do have some frustration you need to work out, I think we can do that too.
I know. Thank you.
And we're going to swap out to the ready room real quick. The Dauntless having returned to the Carina Nebula, Bianca, you are greeted with an incoming communication.
Incoming what?
Communication?
Oh, I heard Cation. I was like, there's a cat!
It's Jasmine! Wow!
Meow, meow, take over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. I'm in my ready room, right? Yeah,
Yep,
sure.
it's from
punch that up onto the computer.
It's from Utopia Planitia.
Bianca kind of like feels like a wave of like relief, kind of like propagate through her shoulders.
Hey,
just as she sees where it's coming from.
So, assuming you open the channel then?
Yes.
Bianca, how you doing, kiddo? I have to say it's not 3 a.m. here, so thank you.
Well, how are you doing, kiddo? And she just goes, thunk, head onto the desk.
That good, huh? I've had days like that. Mostly right after Voyager was sucked into the Delta Quadrant.
There were Borg, Tom. I just made an alliance between a Borg Unimatrix and the Alpha Quadrant Alliance.
Well, someone's going to have to tell Admiral Janeway to move over.
I'm just preparing for my Scorpion moment.
Yeah, make sure you do. I don't know the first thing about this Unimatrix you were dealing with, but you really can't be too prepared when the Borg are involved.
Yeah, well, it was either this or fight off their entire Unimatrix, and I didn't really feel like doing that, so...
I don't think that would have gone over too well with us still rebuilding.
No. I'm trying to keep the peace, it's just shit keeps popping up. Speaking of, you're alright.
Yes. Yeah, things got a little crazy over on Earth Space Dock from what I hear, but we're lucky enough to be on the other side of our orbit from them right now, so none of that carried over.
Yeah, I'm sending you a report on a species, entity, I don't know what the fuck it is, called the Skinia. Just so you're prepared. Yeah, well, we had a holographic dead Section 31 agent running amok. It was not fun.
You're having way too much fun out there, Bianca, but I appreciate the report. Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, well, I don't... They got to Mom, so I didn't trust that they wouldn't get to you too.
No, things have been quiet here. If I can, I'll send some of that quiet your way. Sounds like you need it.
Please? Because, like, last thing I needed was a Borg Unimatrix just popping up out of nowhere.
That's the last thing anybody needs, kiddo. I hear you.
How's Morale? I can never get a hold of her.
Busy as always. Think she's involved with some diplomatic efforts with the Klingon Empire over on their side of space.
That's probably why I can't get a hold of her. Klingons
Probably
aren't
would
very,
be it.
aren't very talkative, I guess. But I'm just crises averted for now. We'll see. And then I have my officers bickering at each other, and it's just fuck.
Well, yeah, that's kind of par for the course. You got a new crew members, trying to figure out where they fit in.
Yeah.
That's something we had no shortage of experience with Voyager. Half the crew was Maquis.
Yeah, how did you like trust them? Like how
we didn't have a choice. It was trust them or get killed by the Kazon or the next spatial anomaly or the Borg.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There were some kinks to hammer out, but you fight side by side with somebody. They're your crew. After that, they're your family.
Yeah, I know that. I'm definitely one that knows about found family more than blood family.
Well, you've got a found family out there on the Dauntless, Mom. He just kind of grins.
Oh. And she just like holds her head in her hands. She goes, "No."
Take good care of them, Captain.
I'm trying.
You will.
Okay. Just because it's you saying it.
You got this, Tiger. I gotta get back to it.
Yeah, ships don't build themselves.
Not yet. But if I can get Geordi and the Challenger back here, maybe we can work something out.
Just be careful with the AI shit. Just be careful with it.
That's fair. All right, I'll talk to you later. Don't be a stranger.
Trying not to.
And with that, the channel closes. And unless anyone has anything else...
I had one thing I wanted to do.
Go ahead.
So this would probably be off hours before Jonas is setting up dinner for himself and Dahli.
Mm-hmm.
He would be in his quarters writing out a message to Guinan.
Okay.
Basically detailing everything that just happened and about the Borg they just met. And about how, honestly, for the first time, Jonas feels that there is a chance for change for the Borg. And he wants to do whatever he can to help promote that. And he knows it sounds hard to believe, but he wants Guinan, like, he's trying to, in his letter, shape and understand it, that Guinan could actually believe him through everything that he's writing.
Okay. And as you are finishing up this letter, this correspondence, you're getting ready to hit send, and you hear something you haven't heard before. The faintest hint of what sounds like whale song. And that's where we're going to leave it.